Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Jon-Christopher Bua is the White House correspondent for Real Political News, and he joins us on the line now. Hello, John.
Great being with you, Nick, on this British Mum's Day, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. It's also Oscars Day. Are you glued to the screen?
Well, I'm glued to Billy Crystal, and I'm glued to Rob Reiner, but I'm more glued to you because I owe you my 100% attention, and you got it. But I got it on mute.
You got it on mute, right.
My wife's taking it in while she coaches me.
Well, what do you think about the best director and most extraordinary performance by a leading man, the Secretary of Awesome War, Pete Hegseth? How's his performance so far in this Iranian conflagration striking you?
Well, I used to be on the soap operas. I don't know if you don't have them quite as we do in this country, but there was one called The Young and the Restless, or The Bold and the Beautiful, or something. And Pete Hegseth looks like he's so angry, he's so annoyed with the world because he was rejected from The Young and the Restless, and that's who he is, the soap opera boy. And that's how he is the Secretary of Defense, changing the name of the organization to Secretary of War, and he wears the bloody American flag in his as a pocket linen, and I think that is disgraceful.
He was berating the press for not being approving enough of the Trump regime's war in Iran. Are the press just going to roll over and take that, or are they going to acquire a spine?
I don't think. I think my colleagues in the briefing room and myself have acquired many spines during this administration. And I think we have to stand up and fight for what's right. We have a First Amendment in this country, and it is we have to make the country aware that he had no plan for the war at all, and they need to write a new script because it's not working. And the latest is, Nick, you need to know, if you don't, the Trump administration and Israel are saying today this war will continue weeks and further damage the world economy. And now the oil has gone up to $100 a barrel. And what is he going to do in the Strait of Hormuz? Blow it up? I mean, he's really lost his way, and he's looking bad, and we will answer it because we don't accept this in this country. As President Kennedy said, the First Amendment is probably our most important amendment in this Constitution.
Freedom of speech, but that is under attack by the very man who oversees the television and the radio channels, isn't it? The Federal Communications Commission chair, Brendan Carr, Trump's man, has said that TV and, I don't know whether he mentioned radio, but he said TV stations, if they don't, straighten up and fly right and start slathering praise over the regime, then we're going to take their licenses away.
How about that, huh? How about that? That's our job, to ask the most important questions, especially when there's a war going on. And that's who we are as a nation. I know Great Britain is that way as a nation. We must have freedom of the airways, we must have freedom of press, and you cannot do that, and it will not stand. And eventually, this guy, Trump, is going to lose. And then we'll see what happens then.
But they're not losing, though, are they? The major media companies are bowing down before Trump. They're giving him exactly what they want.
Well, I don't think they are really doing that. I think if you look at the few stations that are Trump's disciples, basically sycophants, that's true. But there are others who are not, and there are people who and there are newspapers that are not, and we do have press there who is not. And I think that we do not bow down to this dictator, in fact, and we will rise up, and it's going to happen. And we have another day in the streets in March, and we're going to be marching and alerting people to fight against this tyranny, and that's what it is. He had no strategy and no plan ever with this invasion of Iran, and the American people, we now have 13 service people dead. The lines are just going out of the supermarkets because people can't afford even to buy food. And Trump still has his headline supporters, his hardline supporters, I should say, the MAGA people, but the people who this Gulf War is affecting, and the price of oil and food is affecting, are those who are turning against him, bold-faced and on dime.
But is that really happening, though? I mean, I know that the Democrats are almost all against the war and Trump's handling of it, but the Republicans seem to be similarly. It's like a mirror image. It's as though America is two countries now.
Well, there's certainly part of this country that will always be for Trump, okay? But the polls show that I think it's 40%, I believe, or 39% are against Trump, and they are adamantly against him. And you have his MAGA supporters who are for him. But, those people who are in a war, who are fighting, and who are affected by these job cuts that will be happening, will in fact come around. They'll change. And I don't think it's that Trump's never addressed the country and explained why he's doing this. And I think the American people, in a day or two, and I think even now are realizing that, and I think his luck will run out.
Why do you think he's doing this?
Well, first of all, there's many reasons why he's doing this. The first one is that many people believe that this is one of the distractions that he wanted to focus the American people and get them off the Epstein files, which were about to reveal some very unsavory items, including some people you may know. And the Epstein files, along with this topic, has somewhat disappeared from the news. And others think that this is a phase one of Trump's trying to take over our midterm elections. And in the process, since it seems clear, he is likely to lose the House and maybe even the Senate. And some people even believe that he will put in some kind of a martial law effect and stop people from voting. Now he's tried to affect the elections by having eliminating mail-in ballots, by putting the focus on other issues. And in the middle, he's supposed to be rebuilding this country. He says, but what he's rebuilding is White House. He's rebuilding his takeover of Venezuela, threatening to take over Greenland, and now possibly Cuba. I mean, he's really gone off the deep end, I must say. And we're about 7 months away from the midterms, and his polls are not great. And the war in Iran has not changed support among the diehard supporters. That's true. But this week he's trying to change the way Americans vote.
It's
the election system for himself.
Yes, it is interesting, isn't it, that he bombed people off the coast of Venezuela, then invaded Venezuela, kidnapped its leader, frog-marched him out of the country in a blindfold, and no one's talking about it anymore.
Well, I don't...
It's like it never happened.
Well, there's plenty of people talking about it. I know we've got the news media here who's talking about it, and I think I'm certainly talking about it, and I've got the opportunity to talk about it on LBC, and there's plenty of other people who I know have been talking about what he's doing to corrupt this country, and people don't really think that he's for real. They don't understand. Next week, the Democrats will try to regain the presidency. They probably will not succeed. They will probably try to rein in this president. They're probably not, but Trump broke all his promises and to pieces, and it's up to us to restart it again and to focus on what's important for this country. I will say something about the Oscars. It's probably a big relief for most people because I have said something, Nick. The environment here, and I work at the White House as a correspondent for Real Political News. It's not a pleasure. It used to be a joy to go there. Even in Trump's first term, I enjoyed going there. It was historical. He's changing it. He's building this absurd ballroom, which is so gauche and so out of touch. He's changing the name of the Kennedy Center to the Trump Kennedy Center. And I thought Conan O'Brien, I don't know if you were watching the Oscars, but Conan O'Brien said a very funny opening line. He says, in reference to what Trump's changing it. He says, I'm going to change the name of theater where we are now into the small, and I won't use the word, he referred to male organ.
Yeah.
The small organ theater. So Trump can put his name on the small organ theater, the Donald Trump small organ theater. So I thought it was really a great beginning, and you'll see more of that in the press tomorrow.
Well, what we're seeing in the press, like social media, you've probably seen this yourself, is the White House putting out videos in the manner of a rock video to people being blown up to the music of AC/DC. How's that going down?
It's just disgraceful. It's on all the time. People are talking about it all the time. He's taking these explosions and killing people in boats and sort of the Strait of Hormuz and the island, the Koga Island, I believe it's called, and he's killing people, and he's showing them as video games. And these are people whose parents, whose mother and father and wives and sisters know that our American soldiers and sailors and airmen are at risk, at great risk, and he's making a joke of it. To me, that is probably the most diabolical and disgustingly atrocious thing that any president, and I grew up from Truman to JFK and Eisenhower, my God, we would just be livid. And Clinton and Obama and Richard Nixon is looking damn good right now.
Yeah, well, I can't remember which comic said it, but Nixon said, "I am not a crook," and Donald Trump said, "Yeah, I'm a crook. So what?"
Right. I mean, I grew up with Tricky Dicky, okay, and I watched the Kennedy-Nixon debates, and I thought, Nixon is he never hated this country. Richard Nixon went off. He did the whole Watergate thing to keep his power, to keep it in place. But then he resigned. Then he had to resign, so he resigned. And I give Nixon a lot more credit than certainly Trump. And people do not think Trump is focused on the right priorities. He promises he would lower prices, never did. He promises no forever wars. He's already in money. He says this could last. You know what he said, Nick? He said, I'll know when the war's going to end because I'll feel it in my bones.
My bones, yeah.
His bones, his broken bones. He's broken all the key promises, and he's got 7 months to go before the primary, before the next elections.
Yeah, fingers crossed they actually.
The and these are big. These are big deal.
Wow.
And we're seeing already there's elections happening now in states where Trump won. And the Democrats aren't.
Well,
and I'm not necessarily a Democrat, but I care about my country. I care about the First Amendment, and I always love talking to you.
Ditto, and I would be amazed if those elections actually took place. And I've been betting that they won't for quite a long time now. Good to talk to you, John. Jon-Christopher Bua, White House correspondent for Real Political News. Now, if you missed any of today's